Hello students, in continuation with the molecular basis of inheritance, we shall see about the genetic code which we dealt in the previous lecture. So I was telling you about characters of genetic code or properties of genetic code we have seen. I already told you genetic code is made up of a triplet of nucleotides. That is the first point you may remember. It is made up of triplets of nucleotides present in the mRNA. Secondly, we have seen that the genetic code is containing 64 codons in it. Out of them, one will be acting like initiator codon, and 3 will be acting like terminator codons, you may be remembering. Terminator codons will be in the form of UAA or UAG or otherwise UGA, like that it can be called. This UAA is also known as, this UAA, it is, UAG is otherwise known as Hampel type of code, it can be called. Simply, some names are given, Greek words, Hampel it can be called. And UGA, it is known as Opal type of code, Opal it can be called. This UAA, it is known as Ocre type of code, or Ocre it can be called. So these names are given, and these names are sometimes asked in entrance examination also. In NCERT book it is not given, but remember these three are called as terminator codons. They are otherwise known as stop codons, or otherwise opal, amber and ochre, like that they can be called. And they are otherwise called as nonsense codons also. They do not code for any amino acid, so they are called nonsense codon. In this, I told you another point. This initiator codon will be in the form of AUG always, initiator codon. It has got a dual function also. One thing is it will initiate the process of translation, and another thing is it will be coding for methionine amino acid also. So it has got dual function. It can code for methionine as well as it is able to initiate the process of translation. Then I told you another point also regarding characters here. These genetic codes are contiguous in nature. They must be read contiguously. They must be read continuously without any punctuation mark. Once if you start from AUG, it will be ending with the terminator. In between there should not be any pause, any comma or full stop, something should be there. It is punctuationless, we are telling, contiguous codon they can be called. Next point is, they exhibit universality, we have seen here. Universality. A particular codon will code for a particular amino acid only, irrespective of the nature of the organism. Whether the organism is a prokaryote or eukaryote or whatever it is, plant or animal, whatever you take, a particular codon will code for a particular amino acid only. That phenomenon is called as universality of the codons we are telling. Next to this, I think I told you about degeneracy also. These codons are exhibiting a condition called degeneracy. Degeneracy means, since there are 61 functional codons, 3 of them are nonsense. Since there are 61 functional codons, but only 20 amino acids to be coded, what we are telling is, one amino acid can be coded by many codons. So in this degeneracy, one amino acid can be coded by many codons, we believe here. Because number of codons we got is a triplet, it is more than required. So naturally more codons can code for one particular amino acid. That we will explain you in the what is that genetic code dictionary we can see. In the previous lecture I told you 3 scientists have contributed for the deciphering of the genetic code. Deciphering means decoding. This decoding of the genetic code, understanding of the genetic code was contributed by 3 scientists. One is H.G. Khurana, Indian born scientist, you may be remembering. He used copolymers and homopolymers for describing the genetic code. Based on that method, he identified some codons and the amino acids which they code for. Similarly, Marshall Nirenberg, you have to remember, he used cell-free system without cell system in vitro condition like that, how to generate some amino acid polypeptide chain. For that he used artificial codons and he proved that same thing. Then Wachavo enzyme, Severo-Wachavo we have studied. He told about template independent mechanism, template free system like that. Without mRNA also we can synthesize the protein like that. So by this contribution, Wachavo used one enzyme called phosphorylase enzyme like that, polynucleotide phosphorylase enzyme. That was called Wachavo enzyme. By using that, he gave the idea. Because of this contribution, and with the help of another scientist called Kornberg, Crick, Watson and Crick, that Crick, everybody they made one genetic code dictionary. Let me tell you now in this lesson about genetic code dictionary. How do we get the dictionary of the genetic code? It is a language of nucleotide. So as any language is having a dictionary, even with the 64 codons, we can make a genetic code dictionary. Genetic code is made up of 4 alphabets only: uracil, cytosine, adenine and guanine like that. But it will be having 64 words. Imagine, in a language there will be alphabets, words, sentences like that. Here we will be getting 64 words. With those words and codons, how to construct a genetic code dictionary. I will tell you the principle behind this genetic code dictionary here. Imagine for 64 codons, we have to make a tabular column like this. Imagine this point. This is the first base. Second base we can say, third one and fourth one here like this we can take. 4 alphabets are there, I told you. Imagine this point. This is the genetic code dictionary we are discussing here. This is the fourth. Imagine the first letter of the code. A codon is made up of how many words? 3 letters, otherwise triplet I told you. The first letter of this codon will be written in the column here like that. Let us imagine. Second letter of the codon, let us write here in the horizontal thing. Third letter, let me write here. Third letter of the codon. So a codon is made up of 3 alphabets or 3 nucleotides. Imagine now, first letter can be uracil. Second one can be cytosine. Adenine is there, guanine is there. UCAG we will write in the first column. Here second letter can be another uracil, another cytosine, adenine, guanine, like that we will write. From this we can get a duplex actually. Duplex system like that. This U and this U will become UU condition here. Suppose if the first letter is U, second letter is C, I can write the UC here. First letter or first nucleotide is U, second nucleotide is A. Similarly, U, G I can write. What about third letter? Third letter can be either another uracil we can write, or it may be a cytosine or adenine or guanine, like that I can write. First and second letter will not change here, U only. third letter will be changed. So for third letter, I will write UCAG here. Do you get this point? How to construct the triplet? I am explaining. This is the third letter. For this column, this will be the third letter we can write. For this third column, I can write UCAG. Third row, I can write this UCAG. Fourth row can be written like this also. So this is the third letter or third nucleotide which will contribute the formation of codon. Now here UCU will be one codon in this column. Suppose U, first letter U, second letter C, third letter can be C. First letter U, second letter C, third letter can be A. U, C, G. Like this, we can go on writing important codons. In each square, we will be getting 4 codons possible, 4 triplets possible. How many squares are there? 16 squares are there. So 16 into 4 means 64 codons are possible. We are writing the dictionary here. Now the point is, how can we say UUU codes for which amino acid? Because codon means what? Language of nucleotide must be converted, translated into language of amino acid. To which amino acid it is coding? Okay, remember the code word which you people are using during exams and all. Okay, there will be code words, code exchange like that. This is nucleotide language. In protein there are amino acid language. So which codon codes for which amino acid? That we are going to discuss here. Imagine in this way you can make note of make all the codons possible. For example, let me take this one. First letter A, second letter A, third letter can be U. U we can write. First letter can be A, second letter, third one can be C. First letter is A, and A we can write. Similarly, AG we can write. These are the 4 codons possible in this square. When we fill up all these squares, we will get 64 codons. Now listen. Which codon codes for which amino acid? Of course, all the 64 cannot be possible to remember. It is not possible to remember all the 64 codons. Let me tell you some technique for understanding the genetic code dictionary. There is a technique which is not given in the textbook. Just for our understanding, let us discuss about it. Just listen. For example, when you take the second column, this is the second column. First column, second column, third, fourth, like that. When we take the second column, all the 4 codons present in this column are in this square. Second column, first square. I am talking. Second column, first square. They will code for serine amino acid only. They will code for serine amino acid. Remember, UCU codes for serine, UCC codes for serine, UCA, UCG, all of them coding for serine only. Similarly, second column, second square if you take means. Second column, second square, what are they? So first letter C, second letter C, third letter can be U. Similarly, CCC, CCA, CCG is possible. This second square of the second column will be, these 4 codons, they will code for one amino acid called proline. Remember this point. They will code for proline. So there will be serine, proline. We have got 8 codons. We have understood that code language. We have deciphered. When we come to the third square, okay, third square in the second column. Third square in the second column. First letter is A. Second letter is C. Third letter can be U. Similarly, ACC is possible. ACU is A is possible, and ACG is possible. this will become 4 codons here. Remember, this codon or these 4 codons, third square, we are talking in the second column. They will be coding for one amino acid called threonine, we can say. Serine, proline, threonine, we can say. And fourth column or fourth square, if you see, means you can write all the 4 this one here. GCU, GCC, GCA and GCG, like that they will become. They will be coding for alanine amino acid here. Remember, alanine is coded by this one. For what I am telling here means, in the mRNA, if your codon has got UCU, triplet means, which amino acid will be brought to that template means, the amino acid called serine only will come there. Who will bring that tRNA? About tRNA we will study later. tRNA will bring that particular amino acid only. It won't do any mistake. Similarly, this now I have told you about 16 codons already. Serine, proline, threonine, alanine we know. Already we know AUG. You may be remembering. AUG is nothing but initiator codon. In which column it comes? A means this is the first letter, U is this one, G is in the last. So AUG. This is the codon which will code for methionine amino acid. I told you it has got a dual function. Either it can code for methionine or it can code for initiator also. If it is present at the 5' end, it will initiate the process. Okay, AUG methionine. That also one more codon I deciphered now. Just a meaning of that codon we have seen. Similarly, we all know about terminator codons. What are the terminator codons? UAA, UAG and UGA. UAA, this is U, first letter. A is here, third letter here. UAA. This is one, what is that? Terminator codon. UAA. Similarly, another terminator codon is UAG. This is UAG. Third terminator codon is UGA. UG is here, A is here. Let me write it as UGA. Of course, here there will be another codon, here there will be another codon, here there will be some other codon. Remember, these 2 codons are called stop codons or otherwise terminator codon. Similarly, this is also a stop codon only or terminator codon, we can say. Do you get my point? These are what are the stop codons. So for 3 codons, another 3 codons, I gave you an account here. Already 16 we know in this column. And here the one initiator codon and 3 stop codons I told you. Totally out of 64, 20 we come to know already. In addition to this, please listen. In the first column, second square, that means C, it starts with letter C. That first column, second square, it is coding for this one, these 4 codons, they code for leucine amino acid. Remember, it codes for leucine. Leucine, you have to remember, that is 4 codons I am talking. You can check them with your textbook also. I may make some say mistakes. Anyhow, leucine they are coding. These 4 squares they make leucine. They code for leucine. Not only these 4 are coding for leucine. Even above this first square, if you see, means first column, first square. These 2 codons, they are also coding for leucine only. So here also to leucine it can be coded. So what I can say is, they are all degenerating codons. One amino acid called leucine is coded by 6 codons in the mRNA. Wherever you come across UUA, that will be leucine only. Wherever you come across CUU or CUA, that is also leucine only. They are called degenerating. Why? because there are only 20 amino acids but 61 functional codons. So we have to decipher those 61 functional codons. This is leucine, this is leucine. Let me come to the first two codons here. First column, first two codons, first square, first two codons. They will be coding for phenylalanine. Remember this point. They are coding for phenylalanine. So there are two codons coding for phenylalanine. This is leucine. Let me tell you another interesting point here. When we come to the fourth column, second square, fourth column, second square. Here there are four codons are present. What will be them? CGU, CGC, CGA and CGG, like that. These four are there, these four codons will be coding for arginine amino acid, we can say. They are coding for arginine amino acid. Do you get this point? These four, they are coding for arginine. So let me write up 4 here. They are coding for arginine. Not only this one, below the second square of the first column, I told you methionine is there. Easily you can remember, AUG. Above the methionine, there are 4 codons present here. What will be them? AUU, AUC and AUA. These 3 codons are there, they code for isoleucine, we can say here. Isoleucine is also present here. That is for 3 codons we can remember. I hope you are understanding this point, isoleucine. When we come to the fourth column, this technique is not there in your textbook, but you can remember it easily. The 64 codons possible, I am telling you. I cannot tell you all the 61. Just wherever possible, we can remember this point. There is a technique. Now remember, fourth column, fourth row, if you see means. These things are the fourth column, fourth square. These 4 amino acids, what are they? GGU, GGC and GGA, like that, GGG, like that. These things, they are coding for. Of course, here alanine, I told you, GUG and GAG, valine. This is glycine amino acid. You have to remember. Check your textbook and see where it is coding for glycine actually. When we come to the amino acid, already in sickle cell anemia, we have learnt about it. In sickle cell anemia, there is GUG, okay, is present. This GUG and GUA, these two, they are coding for valine amino acid also, valine amino acid, and GUG, GUA, like that. This is valine. In this way, you can remember 4 glycine also and 2 valine, like this. You can remember. These are all important type of amino acid in the genetic code dictionary. So, Corona, Nirenberg and Ochoa, these 3 scientists have contributed for understanding of the genetic code dictionary. This is how we are constructing the genetic code dictionary. Of course, from textbook, if possible, you can remember this square and this square also you can remember. I have given you valine, check this one. I am valine here, and glutamic acid is there, glycine is there, like that, asparagine is there, aspartic acid is there, various type of amino acid, 20 types are there. At the maximum, I think I gave you some idea about these many codons here. 16 plus 4, 20, 24, 26, 28, 32, 35 plus 6. Nearly 41 codons I have described you out of 61 here. There will be 3 terminator codon and 1 initiator codon, like that. So make note of this genetic code dictionary. It is the genetic code dictionary. In the textbook, it is given. I told you a technique how to remember them. Maximum number, 41 number you can remember. If you wish, you can remember this also just for fun, otherwise for understanding, you can remember this also. Anyhow, make note of genetic code dictionary. We will go for another point in this lesson. When you can remember GAG in sickle cell anemia, we came across GAG. It is coding for glutamic acid. Is it not? I think the upper one it is also coding for glutamic acid. Another two also you can remember. It becomes 43 in this easily. Out of 61, 43 codons you can remember. Check them once with your textbook. I might have made small mistakes, just check them. Okay, students, let us go for another small subheading related to genetic code here. We have proved that genetic code is playing an important role in protein synthesis. We proved that the mRNA and ribosome have got some understanding. Based on the message present in the mRNA only, ribosome will arrange the amino acid. That amino acid sequence will be called as polypeptide chain, not polynucleotide chain. mRNA has got polynucleotide chain, protein has got polypeptide chain. How that polypeptide chain is constructed, that is called translation. Before going in detail about translation, here we must understand how mutation affect the translation process. Already we have seen about mutation in the previous lesson or chapter actually. We have seen about aneuploid, even what is that, point mutation, frame shift mutation, like that we have seen. In chromosomal aberrations are different, mutations are different. We have defined the word mutation as any sudden change or any sudden inheritable change in the genetic material of an organism. From this mutation, we can correlate to the point of protein synthesis or translation also. We have seen instead of GAG, if one uracil, instead of adenine, 1.1 nucleotide is changed as GUG. Glutamic acid will be replaced by valine. That a simple change in the nucleotide. If the genetic code is GAG, imagine. By mistake, if it becomes GUG, what will happen? It will cause sickle cell anemia. Why means? Because amino acid will be changed here. Instead of glutamic acid, we will be getting valine. Valine will change the protein structure in the hemoglobin. We have dealt about sickle cell anemia in detail in the previous lesson or chapter also. There hemoglobin or globin protein has got 4 polypeptide chains, namely alpha and beta, like that. In the beta chain, if valine is present, it will become sickle cell anemia. Yes or no? 6th position, like that we have seen already. Now that indicates what is the role of mutation in the genetic expression or translation. Just when we change a base, one point we are changing, that will result in the phenotypic effect. That will result in the protein synthesis. So translation and mutation are interrelated. Any change in the mRNA, any change in the DNA will cause a change in the mRNA. This is DNA, this will become mRNA, means naturally amino acid protein will be changed. So DNA undergoes mutation, means that will be reflected in mRNA. mRNA's change will be reflected in the protein molecule. That is called as effect of mutation. For this, in your textbook, one simple sentence have been given actually. For example, remember, Ram, one sentence I am writing, has red cap. Ram has red cap, we are telling. Imagine this sentence. It is a sentence where there are four words are there. Each word has got a triplet of alphabets, just like mRNA. In mRNA also, triplets will be present. Similarly, this is an mRNA. Remember, it has got Ram has a red cap, means all are three-letter words only. If that sentence has got a meaning, let us imagine that meaning is the protein molecule. Now, what I can do means, I can do one insertion at this place in the sentence here. Imagine in language how we change the meaning. Similarly, in nucleotide language also translation could be changed. That is what we are explaining regarding mutation. Same sentence, imagine if I add one alphabet called B here. One B I am adding. What will happen? The same sentence will be read like this. This Ram will be remaining as it is, has will remain as it is, but here when I insert a B, this letter will become B, R, E, it will become. Then D will come to this side. There is a D, C, A, then P will be separate. It will be continued with any other letter. When I add one letter here, addition or insertion, the meaning changes from this part. It will be BRE, DCA, like that it will become. So because I told you, mRNA should be read, genetic code should be read continuously without punctuation. If you add one B here, that will automatically continue with other nucleotides. In triplets only you can read, I told you. Now imagine I am adding one more letter here. I am adding. Now how the sentence will change? This will not change, this word will not change, but in the third word, I will be getting two nucleotides like this. BI, R will be as it is there. Then what happens? EDC it will become, AP it will become. Like this, there will be a change, another insertion I am making. So that will create a change in this sentence. Imagine now, if I add one more nucleotide called G here. One more nucleotide I am adding. G means not guanine. Remember, just one letter alphabet I am adding. Now what happens? It will also remain as it is. Ram has big, I am writing. It is called big. They will become a big here. Now the letter will become RED and CAP it will become. Try to get the difference between first sentence and the last sentence. Ram has a red cap. Whereas here it has become Ram has a big red cap. It has become. Now you are changing the meaning of this sentence. It will become, suppose imagine, each English alphabet is one nucleotide means. When I add a triplet of nucleotide, naturally the meaning changes, protein changes. Even here also it got changed, we can see. Do you get this point? This is due to insertion mutation. How mutation changes the meaning of the genetic material, that is explained in this process. Same sentence I can do deletion also. Remember, I can do deletion. That means same sentence. Imagine Ram has red cap here. I do a deletion in this sentence. I remove this R. Remember. If I delete this R, my sentence will become like this. Ram has EDC. It will become, then AP it will become. I can do another deletion here in the second sentence, so that the third sentence will become like this. Ram has DCA and P it will become. Once again, if I do a deletion at this point, it will become third deletion, will give me another meaning here. Ram has cap, it will become. Whether Ram has big red cap or Ram has cap, that is depending upon the insertion or addition we are doing. So what do we understand from this? Any change made in the DNA will be reflected in the mRNA. Any change happening in the mRNA will be reflected in the protein molecule we synthesize. Do you get this point? This first step is called transcription. Transcription will inherit that change. Second step is called translation. Same mistake or same addition or insertion or deletion will be reflected in the translation. Finally, the protein molecule which we get here will show that change, will inherit that change here. So this is called insertion type of mutation, addition. This is called deletion, deletion of nucleotide. Addition can change the meaning, deletion can change the meaning. But one interesting point here is the change happens only from the point of that addition or deletion. See, in all these sentences, first Ram, that does not change at all. It remains as it is because I did not add any nucleotide here or I did not delete anything there. This first two words are as it is. Ram has, it did not change. Where from the change happens? From the point of addition or deletion, the change continues. So when you read this sentence continuously, you will change your reading only from the point of that addition or deletion. So if at all imagine an mRNA contains some 25 codons. 25 into 3 means 75 nucleotides are there. Imagine if I add one nucleotide at the 60th position. First 59 position will not show any change. From 61 onwards up to 75, there will be change happening. Do you get my point? So, mutation will occur. Mutation will become effective only from the point of addition or deletion. Before that, there won't be change. But after that, you will be reading them as BREDCAP like that. Or EDCAP or red cap like that, you will be reading. When your sentence will become a complete meaning, once again when we add triplet again. So even for a single base, there will be change in the meaning. That is what we have studied in the sickle cell anemia. And the point of addition or point of deletion will start with the change, not before that. This was asked in a NEET exam also. If there are 75 codons or 70 nucleotides in an mRNA, if a 55th position is changed, added with one nucleotide, what will happen? You know, when 55th is added, total number will become 71. In that 71, up to 50 bases, there won't be change. From 51, 52, 53 will become one group like that, they will be changing. That is what we have to remember. If at all there is a deletion here means 70 nucleotides are there, 50th position is deleted. So up to 49 there won't be change. 51 onwards it will go. Total number will become 69 only because you have deleted one nucleotide. So that is the effect of mutation on the genetic code we can see. Okay students, just make note of this. We will see after 2 seconds. Okay, let us continue about next subheading related to molecular basis of inheritance. We have seen about DNA structure, then about replication, then RNA world, some idea I told you. Properties of genetic material we have seen. Why DNA is the preferable genetic material by most of the organisms we have discussed. Then in the replication, what is semi-conservative mechanism we have seen. Then the replication method or steps involved in replication, even transcription unit and the structure of transcription unit and the mechanism of transcription, all those things we have seen. Differences between prokaryotic and eukaryotic transcription, the tabular column also we have studied. Then I told you about genetic code. Genetic code is nothing but triplet of nucleotides present in the mRNA. So where is the genetic code located? Code is located on mRNA. That each triplet will code for one amino acid. There are 61 functional codes which will code for 20 types of amino acid. How to construct a dictionary and how to remember it, all the points we have seen. Now we have to see about translation. Replication is over, transcription is over, now translation. Before going in detail about the process of translation, we have to recall the structure of tRNA also here. Very important 5-mark question we are going to discuss here. Structure of tRNA molecule we have to see. So mRNA we know it is messenger RNA produced by transcription. Of course RNA polymerase 2 will produce that mRNA. RNA polymerase 3 is there in eukaryotes, that will be responsible for the production of tRNA. Why we should study about tRNA? What is the importance of tRNA means? This tRNA is nothing but transfer RNA, it can be called. It is called as transfer RNA. What it will transfer? What it will transfer means it will transfer the amino acids to the mRNA or to the ribosome. Please listen. There is a cell or cytoplasm like this. In the cytoplasm, ribosomes are involved in protein synthesis. mRNA has got a blueprint for the protein synthesis. Blueprint means it will have message to tell which amino acid should be placed where. Suppose if you want to get normal hemoglobin, 6th position should contain glutamic acid, like that it will tell. That blueprint is given by mRNA. mRNA is synthesized in the nucleus. In eukaryotes I am talking. Later it will come out as the functional mRNA after gene splicing. You may remember. Gene splicing means removal of introns and joining of exons, we can say. So after that it will come to the cytoplasm. Then in the cytoplasm it will code for amino acids. 30 minutes. it will code for what is that amino acid. The mRNA will be having triplet of nucleotides like this. Now the question is, this triplet is coding for amino acid, that is called dictionary we have seen. According to this codon, somebody should bring raw material called amino acid to the ribosome. Imagine in the cytoplasm amino acids will be there. This is called amino acid pool we are telling. Where from our cell got amino acid? From the food we eat. The food we eat contain protein. When the proteins are digested, they will become amino acid. Those amino acids we store in our cells. Whenever we require, those amino acids must be brought to the ribosome, so that the ribosome will join them, create a polypeptide chain actually. So you need some vehicle for transferring that amino acid. Amino acids are the raw material. mRNA gives the blueprint. Now raw material should be brought to the factory. Ribosome is the factory. Do you get this point? mRNA gives blueprint. Ribosome is the factory. Now amino acids are the raw material. They should be brought by the tRNA or by some vehicle. Which is acting like a vehicle here means that is the transfer RNA it is doing. So I told you about the role of mRNA and the role of transfer RNA or tRNA. I told you. tRNA's role is what? Bringing the amino acid and giving it to the factory. It should bring the amino acid and give it to the factory called ribosome. There is one more RNA called rRNA. What is the role of that rRNA? Ribosomal RNA it is called. Ribosomal RNA is present in the ribosomes of our cells. You have studied about ribosomes in the first year also in cell biology. It is the membraneless organelle. That membraneless organelle should be maintained properly. For maintaining that ribosome, we need rRNA, remember. Do you understand the three RNA's role in the cell? mRNA gives a blueprint for translation. Transfer RNA brings the raw material for translation. And that protein synthesis will take place in the factory called ribosome. For maintaining that factory, there must be some supervisor. Who is that supervisor? That is the rRNA or ribosomal RNA. This is blueprint. This is a vehicle transferring that amino acid. And this one is the factory manager, otherwise supervisor we can say. All the three RNAs are playing an important role in the metabolism of our body, in the metabolism of our cells actually. So let me stop with this. This is called RNA world we are telling. DNA is the genetic material. But this for working, they have got these three types of RNAs. They are called RNA world we can say. Already about mRNA I told you how it undergoes splicing, how it is produced as hnRNA, later it becomes a functional RNA, everything we have seen. Processing, gene splicing, we have seen. In the next class, I will tell you about structure of RNA and tRNA, an important 5-mark question. We will see the structure of tRNA and process of translation in the later class. Okay, let me stop with this today. Thank you.